welcome to our conversation today on the relationship between climate change, spirituality, and religion, specifically with the scope on Africa. So today we're going to be diving deep into how this religious and spiritual perspective gets to influence how people, especially in the African continent, respond to the concerns of climate change. Climate change is not just an environmental crisis. It is very multifaceted, and the signs are seen everywhere in Africa. For instance, drought-ravaged crops, increased cost of livelihood as a result of loss of ecosystems that were once very useful for indigenous people to get themselves locally employed, as well as the loss of habitats, loss of species, and speed in extinction. Over the years, African countries have been responding in diverse ways to the concerns associated with climate change, ranging from grassroots policies, grassroots actions, collaborative and collective efforts, as well as policy initiations. But drawing from the perspective of religious and spiritual studies, there is the need to consider if there is, to an extent, an impact of religious belief on the successes of those initiated policies and actions, rising from the fact that Africa can be considered as one of those continents in the world that is very religious and seems to see a lot of things from the lens of spirituality and traditions. I understand that spiritual knowledge systems as well as indigenous knowledge systems play crucial roles in how people perceive and interpret climate change in their different communities. But this leaves us a question: if those knowledge systems actually perpetuate the expansion of climate change denialism and fatalism, especially on the African continent. Also, this gives us concern about a situation where, as a result of spiritual interpretations and cosmological interpretations, some persons may have this sense of helplessness in regards to handling climate issues. You know, it gets to a point where people feel that climate change scenarios and crises are actually out of control as a result of what they believe, and this leaves us with the concern that such belief system might in no little measure impact their active participation in resourceful climate actions. So recently I had the opportunity to conduct a theoretical study around the politics revolving around the consumption of climate models, climate trends, and climate information. And based on the theory I worked on, I was able to discover four emergent classes, which includes fatalism, the hierarchy, the fatalist, the hierarchist, the individualist, and the egalitarians. So quickly, let me bring this in. The egalitarians see climate actions as collective actions. The hierarchies feel that the government should be in the right place, the rightful place to address climate change crisis, while the individualists think it is something, if climate actions are going to be taken, then it shouldn't really, affect their personal well-being, their personal belongings, and their businesses. However, my concern regarding this particular discussion lies on the fatalists, or the fatalists who see climate change as something that is extremely beyond their control, and as a result of that, they purposefully refuse to be part of mitigative and adaptive actions as a result of their belief systems. So in this study, I will be taking you through the misrepresentation of climate change as spiritual and cultural crisis, the case of Africa, and I will be dwelling my discussion within the realms of religion. And in this context, when considering spirituality and religion in Africa, it is best to see it from the post-colonial view, which integrates the indigenous religious traditions and the Abrahamic faith.